Okay, so it is time for another fermentation video. That's up next. Hello everyone, this is Dwayne and Lori with Healthy Farm Living. So today we're going to be coming to you with another episode on fermentation. So we've actually been really on a fermentation kick, have we not?
We have, yeah.
I mean, like serious fermentation kick.
Yeah.
So, anything that we can do to boost our immune health and digestion, as we get older, it's an important topic. It's important for all of us. So today we're going to be talking specifically about garlic. So I don't know about you guys, but for me, I love garlic. I love the smell of garlic. I love the taste of garlic in food. But one of the things that I don't like is raw garlic, whole cloves, eating them whole cloves. Not a big fan of that. So one of the advantages to taking them and fermenting them is you actually get a much better finish and a tasty, tasty product and can actually eat those garlic cloves whole. So what we're going to do today is we're going to show you how to do a basic fermentation with garlic, and we're going to make it as easy as we possibly can for you guys. The first thing, of course, would be garlic. Now, you're not going to see whole heads of garlic here. Obviously, when we're growing garlic, we will have those. If you're growing them, you will also, or you may just want to buy whole garlic heads. That's just fine. Lori and I actually prefer the pre-peeled stuff. It's a lot easier on us, so until we have our own garlic, this is the way we're gonna go, and it's just fine for using them in fermentation. Obviously, these guys are easy because all we're dealing with are the individual cloves, so they've actually already been cleaned and they're ready to go, peeled and everything. So it's gonna save us a lot of time today. And we found that with this particular recipe, carrots go very, very well. Not only do they actually help with keeping the garlic down below or underneath the brine while these are fermenting, but that garlic mixed with carrots, you basically have a pickled garlic carrot and they're amazing. So we really like to add carrots. So as far as what you're gonna need carrots if you would like, we prefer them. Obviously you're gonna need some garlic, so you're gonna need a handful of heads of garlic. You're gonna need some type of fermentation vessel. We're just gonna use a quart-size wide mouth mason jar. You're gonna need some type of airlock. So we like this kind of nipple airlock and this fermentation weight. You can find these in our Amazon shop. We'll link that down below for you. You're gonna need something to mix your brine water in. We like to use kosher salt because it's very, very consistent. So we get a consistency in our brine from one fermentation to another. So I should mention when it comes to carrots, you'll notice I actually cut the tops off of these, especially with fermentation. These are organic, and we really like to get the carrots that still have the tops on them. One of the challenges with getting even organic carrots in the store is you don't always get a fresh carrot. I cut the tops off, they were just starting to brown, so they were still mainly green, and I know that I'm gonna have a sweet, crunchy carrot. I've noticed that there are times when I'll buy bagged carrots and they have a tendency to be a little bit bitter, and the last thing I want to do is throw a bitterness or a bitter carrot into any type of fermentation. So we really prefer organic and the ones that have the green tops, so they're as fresh as they possibly can be. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go ahead and get to work getting these garlic cloves out of the bag and see just how much of it we're going to have. I'm guessing we have probably a cup or two of individual garlic cloves that are ready to go. Now, you don't need to do anything with these. You don't need to cut the tips off. You don't need to smash them. You don't need to do any of that. You're going to get plenty of garlic flavor that's going to come out of the garlic into the brine to help with the carrots. So now what we did notice once we got that done is we probably have a couple jars worth. So you'll see I have a second jar here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill these up about halfway or so. So you can see it's actually probably a little shy of halfway, which is just fine. That's just gonna give us more space for our carrots. So garlic is done. Now we need to move into the carrots. So when it comes to carrots, you can do a lot of different things with these when it comes to fermentation. I know that I have a certain amount of space. I don't wanna go above the head space here. But one of the secondary things with these carrots and the function in this particular fermentation is these will help to hold down the garlic and stop the small pieces of garlic from floating to the top, which we definitely do not want to happen. So what I'm gonna go through, I'm not gonna peel these, but I'm gonna go ahead and cut the tips off and wash them, and then at least cut them in half lengthwise. Now it doesn't really matter too much how you put these in. You can put them in standing up, or you can lay them like pickup sticks sideways or Lincoln logs. So I really prefer to take the easy way out when it comes to this stuff because I don't have a lot of patience. So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of stack them in like Lincoln logs and get them up to about there or so. So right about where the head of the mason jar starts to go up into the top of this wide mouth jar. And so you can see really nothing special as far as stacking these in. You just want to make sure you got a nice heavy stack of carrots on top of the garlic to keep them down. And you can see my head space. So I have about 1 inch in both of these, which is going to give me plenty of space. If you're not too sure, you probably saw me testing just to make sure I'm going to be able to get my fermentation weight in there without a problem, because these will ferment for at least a couple weeks. So now what I need to do is I need to prepare our brine. So now there's a couple different ways you can go about the brine. We like to use about 1.5 tablespoons of salt per 2 cups of water. That's kind of our standard brine for most vegetables. So with this one, we're gonna basically follow that same process. Now you can tone back the salt a little bit, or you can increase it if you want to. One of the things with that salt is it does help to basically preserve the vegetables and not wind up with mold. So you have a better chance of not finding mold in your ferments if you have plenty of salt. Now, the converse to that, you don't want a whole lot of salt because then you have a really, really salty fermentation as opposed to a kind of a vinegary fermentation. Either way, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go with about 1.5 tablespoons per 2 cups. Because I have 2 quart-sized mason jars, I need about 4 cups of water. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that first. Now with our water, we do have a whole house filtration system. So this is filtered water. If you don't have that, you want to make sure you use some type of filtered or distilled water. Either one of those will be fine. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and mix in my salt. I'm going for 3 tablespoons. So I've got about 1. We want to make sure that we fill these up just so the brine goes above the veggies. So it looks like I'm above the vegetables. I'm gonna set in my fermentation weight. And after I do that, I'm gonna top the water off. Now, you need to leave some space. I'm gonna give myself probably about 1/2 inch still, because it is gonna bubble as it ferments, but I want to make sure I've got plenty of water in here and I'm not gonna wind up with any carrots above water. I love these little silicone, they burp on their own. So it's kind of a set it and forget it with these. So you just set that silicone on top. You wanna tighten them down nice and tight because that will release air, so it's okay if they're snug. And just like that, we have 2 quarts that are ready to ferment. Pretty exciting. Now these are gonna be fermenting for at least 2 weeks. Now we found that 2 weeks is plenty of time for us as far as the garlic is concerned. You can go much longer than that, up to a month.
Yeah.
I've heard longer than that, but 2 weeks is plenty for us, and it's a good amount of time for the carrots as well. You get a nice pickled carrot. Now, what does this look like? As this starts to ferment, it's going to start getting cloudy. So that's very normal. That's just a matter of the yeast kind of doing its thing. So you'll see these are some fermented garlics that we've had for about a month in the fridge. And, oh, that smells like garlic.
Oh yeah.
Pretty much straight up garlic.
That's garlic.
There's no question about that. But now here's something that you wouldn't normally do with a straight up piece of garlic, at least most people. You wouldn't take this and just eat it straight. Let's see what they taste like. Good. Good. So, definitely has a garlic taste. No question about it, but it's very mellow.
But yeah, it's not strong.
It's not strong at all. Really, really good. So I would say, you know, obviously pickled. You do definitely taste the pickling. Definitely not spicy. Raw garlic has a very harsh, spicy flavor, wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm.
So this one doesn't have that spiciness at all. You know, with the carrots in there, you get a little bit of sweetness in there, just a tiny bit of sweetness, without having a whole lot of sugar, which we're trying to really avoid as much as we can. Why do this with garlic? One of the things about garlic is it actually is a fantastic herb. It's the same family as onions and has a lot of sulfur in there. So there's a lot of benefits to sulfur. It also has something that's called allicin, is I believe the way you term it. Very good for the heart, also very good for the immune system. So we like both of those, something with heart health and with immune benefits. Now the challenge with garlic, some of the things that I've read, is if you heat it even slightly, you lose some of the benefits, potentially all of the antioxidant benefits that you get from garlic. Now fermenting, you're not cooking a thing. As warm as it is in here, we don't get above about 80 degrees inside the house. So you're not cooking your garlic. In addition, we're doing what? We're fermenting.
Yeah.
And so some of the benefits that you have to fermenting, I know digestion would be a big one for you.
Yep.
So we want to make sure we're helping with our digestion, and then of course immune health. So in addition to the benefits from the garlic itself, you also have on top of that the benefits of fermentation. And then of course with carrots you have your vitamin A, your beta carotene, which is also a fantastic antioxidant that has a lot of functions in the body. We all know eye health is one of them. So then there's obviously another benefit to fermented garlic as well, right?
Well, yeah, you can actually use garlic in recipes as well. So it won't be as strong. So if you don't want to cook it down, you can just use that.
Ooh, we haven't done that yet. I mean, we don't eat potatoes very often, but that'd make a pretty darn good mashed potato, I'll bet.
Oh, yum.
I agree. Another really cool recipe and something that's a little bit unique that we thought we would share with you guys. We really love this one. Very, very simple. We'll have these in our pantry is where we keep them, so it's nice and dark. We'll keep them in there for a couple weeks. We do keep an eye on them just to make sure that we don't wind up seeing any mold or anything. You will get kind of that milky looking substance, and sometimes you'll get some yeast growth on top. That's totally normal. Obviously mold is not, but yeast definitely is normal. So very common to see that. We saw that with our last fermentation with garlic. So that's gonna wrap it up for today. So glad you guys were here. Hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have any questions or comments, leave those in the comments section down below. Instagram and Facebook, we post content there that you won't see here on this YouTube channel. And hey, check out our sister channel. It's actually our primary channel, Edge of Nowhere Farm. We talk about farming, which this is the end result of that farming. Would really love it if you would join us there. Our Amazon shop, I did mention that. You'll find some of the things that we actually have here today, the supplies for fermenting, are in that Amazon shop. But you know, if you start with that link, it doesn't matter what you buy, you actually help to support us here on this channel. So until next time, stay farm healthy. So today we're actually going to be doing something a little stinky. You weren't ready for that, were you?
I was not, no.
Hey, you've been, I haven't been drinking. What was that?
You're accusing me of something.
What? Jane and Lori, and we're coming to back. Oh,
Maybe you do need a drink.
maybe I do. So today we're going to be doing something a little different. We're going to be talking about garlic. So if you are worried about those vampires coming into your bedroom at night, we got you covered.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm so sorry.
A topic that actually is probably near and dear to everybody's heart, because if you try to kiss somebody eating garlic, this is the garlic you want. I don't know.
What's wrong with you?
I don't know how many more things about garlic I can talk about. Do you smell that garlic?
Huh?
You kiss your mama with that mouth?